So I'm going to go through different points, a general introduction, and then after I'm going to explain why we need to do research and what it is really, and when do you have to do it, and which method to use, and also there is some myth you need to come across and just try to forget them because they are not the reality. And we go through some conclusion, and then if I've got time I will give you 2 or 3 words of what I'm doing and how we do it. So I'm going to start with a comment, like user experience for a digital strategy should be led by a proven research methodology and not by IT design solution architects. So it's something which is very important, and you take that into consideration, because when you develop a product, everything now is digital, so it's very important to take everything into consideration before you start building a new system. So now everything is moving digital. We are moving to a new era where everything is really moving digital. You have to remove the paper, you remove the calculator, and you put everything on a computer and on a system. So you need to make sure it's going to meet the customer requirement. It's not only limited to the business requirement and the functional requirement. You need also to be taking into consideration what the end user wants. So new experience, people who never used to be on digital devices now are and use digital devices. They have to get used to it, and they need to have something which is very intuitive to them. So that you really need to take that into consideration. So research is going to be there to help you to make this gap between the functionality, what needs to be done, and what is going to be intuitive and needed by the end user. But stop. So actually if people can't complete the journey and there is a blocker, they are not going to buy anything. So that's a big blocker for them. Another example where people who already had an account, they keep having this, put your credit card.
We are talking about the details. So it's a very, very pertinent topic. So we will hear that discussion. Next we will have a discussion on the matter of the future of IT and the emerging technologies. So what are these technologies we talked about which can almost be magic? So we will take a look at that. We will have a discussion potentials. Can it punch beyond its weight? Can it create a bigger impact on the all in the IT market? And in the fourth and final section of the day, we will hear from HR leaders on probably what is probably the biggest challenge faced by IT. And I'm from an IT company, and I agree this is probably the biggest challenge, that is of attracting, retaining and growing a talented workforce. And that's very, very difficult. And the whole nature of IT is such intensive. How do we crack this problem? How do we keep attracting and retaining the best in an affordable manner? So the last discussion will look at that. So all in all, we have a very long series of very, very interesting topics ahead of us. And we have some of the best minds in government, academics, business and IT who will pose and try to answer some of the very pertinent questions for us today. And so that's really very exciting day ahead of us. As always, we look forward to all of your participation in these sessions.
2025, around 10% of the commercial aircraft will fly, take off automatically, fly and land automatically. Same way, around 2040, we will have around few good amount of car in Western countries will run automatically without driverless. So the amount of software, the modeling has to come, and the Indian has to contribute on this. And so for that, our opportunity is really unbelievable. So we should not have any doubt of competitiveness of Indian, and we are much ahead with any IT industry in the other country, because the other countries, they are using our resources only. So next come so another yesterday discussion we were having this big data. So to have this, all these innovations has to come through the big data analysis. So once we start analyzing those big data, so we have to have big information systems, big storage system, and big infrastructure. And Mr. Dasgupta was talking about the Calcutta will become another analytical centers. To have a big analytical centers, we have to have a big storage system, big server systems, And to maintain those server systems, today agenda which was given to us is the big infrastructure. So to have this big infrastructure, we have to have lot of basic infrastructure to support those infrastructure. Otherwise, we cannot have those complicated calculated decision makings.